to the Felicity Yarn Studio podcast. My name is Zoe, I am your host, and as always, I am so happy to have you guys here with me today to talk about knitting and the fiber arts. If you would like to follow me on social media, I am at Zoe Nichols on Instagram and Ravelry, and you can find my hand-dyed yarns on Etsy under the name of Felicity Yarn Studio. If you need links to any of that, it'll all be in the description box down below, along with the show notes with any information about what we talked about today. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're a new viewer, a big welcome. And to all my returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate all of y'all's support. So yeah, have you guys been watching Vlogmas? I'm having a really hard time trying to keep up with everybody's Vlogmases, and I kind of needed a change of pace myself from all of the daily vlogging to do a little bit of a podcast with y'all. I also have some things to talk about. Otherwise, why would we be here? So apologies up front. It may be a little bit of a rambly one. I have not written out any show notes. If you have been following Vlogmas, then you will know that our furnace went out a couple of days ago. So it's nothing too dire. We do have these gas logs. That's why I'm sitting here today. Why don't we get into some knitting content? So actually the first thing I have for y'all is like a 3/4 of the way finished thing, and it is crochet, not knitting. So when we went back east for Thanksgiving to see family, I was able to gift my niece the little Amigurmi critters that I made her a few months ago. And of course my other niece wanted some too. So I made Lily a little gray cat. This is the Itty Bitty Kitty Amigurumi pattern. And I believe it was free, and I found it on Ravelry, but I think the pattern is on like the designer's website. So yeah, I just need to add some little face details here. That's why I was considering it 3/4 of the way done. And I may try to knock out a couple more for both of them before we head home. Or not home, this is home. Before we head back east again. So yeah. That's the first thing that I have. The next thing that I finished my Christmas socks. Yay, just in time. So these are knit in Lollipop Yarns in her I Believe in Santa Claus colorway. And I did these 2 at a time on 9-inch circulars, just knit them concurrently, cuff down. I use size 1 or a 2.25 millimeter needle. And so yeah, the marker's where I was pre-heel on the last podcast. So I did do the German short row heel. I actually pretty much knit them twice on each sock. It was a learning experience. So my thoughts on German short row. They do fit, and they fit comfortably on my heel. They are slightly tight across the instep, but that's my fault because when I ripped out the first one, I forget what I screwed up the first time, but I messed something up and I had to rip out basically the whole heel. I forgot to do the increases when I started it the second time, and rather than have one that fit more loosely, I just did the same thing on the second one. I don't even remember what I screwed up on the second one either. But I do know that, which one is it? I think it's this one. Where is it? Maybe it's this one. Excuse me. Got the hiccups. So when I was doing the German short row heel, at some point, the stitches that you like pull tight to get that like double loop on your needle, slid off of my needle while I was doing it, so I had to kind of finagle them back on the needle and figure out how to salvage that. So some of them got a little wonky on, I believe it's this heel. Yeah, with the owl. That was the second one that I did. But I'm the only one who knows. It's not super noticeable or anything. I don't think they're going to wear any worse with that. So yeah, I'm actually really pleased with these. I learned a new heel. I possibly will be incorporating them in that heel into my next pair of SOXX, which I will talk about in a minute. So yeah, I'm really pleased these are done, and I'm really pleased that I will have them to wear for Christmas. So I have a second finished object. Let me see if I can put them on the blockers for you. I actually finished knitting Jason's socks, which flew by. And these are way too big for my sock blockers, just FYI. But it's easier to show you them this way than like just hold them up by themselves. Yeah, so I knit these 2 at a time magic loop toe up. And all 3 of those things were new for me. They are huge. Like here's the end of my sock blocker, here's the toe, and there, that's the sock blocker, that's the heel. So yeah, these are knit out of, I believe it's Lang twin socks. Uh-oh, what was that? Gross. And it's just a commercial self-striping yarn. I had bought some nice Mondim sock yarn to make him socks, but I was like, let me make you some stuff out of commercial yarn before I, you know, make you a $36 pair of socks. He did wear them yesterday. That's why they're looking a little tired, I guess. So yeah, he enjoyed them. He said I can knit him some more socks. So pretty pleased with that. I did use 2 different minis for the, I used the same mini for the heels, or for the toe and the cuff, and then a second mini for the heel, which is still really similar to this one. Again, they were just kind of some experimenting that I was doing with minis. But I would not have had enough to do heel, toes, and cuff with the same mini for his socks, because I wound up increasing to 80 stitches for his foot, and that fits well. I may go a little less next time. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how these wear for him when he's wearing them with shoes. But it's good to know that the afterthought heel fits his foot well. It fits his foot better than it fits mine. So that's really convenient for making socks in the future. I don't really have to worry about getting super fussy with measurements. I did do a forethought heel instead of a true afterthought heel where you cut in. I like where you knit in a row of contrast yarn and then you just come in and pick that out when you're ready to put your heel in. So the only thing I will say is I'm a little, it kind of bothers me a little bit where I chose to put in that contrast yarn. I should have done it like a row earlier so that lighter color was a little more evenly distributed, but it's on the heel. No one's ever gonna see it. I'm the only one who knows. I don't even think he noticed, so. Yes, these I knit almost exclusively while we were back home for Thanksgiving. Like I was on the like second gray stripe when I podcast last. So yeah, it was a lot of knitting, but honestly, I'm pretty much 2 at a time convert now, which is something that I never thought that I would say. Or rather, I'm a 2 at a time magic loop convert. it still doesn't feel super meditative, I guess is the best word. Or like, what am I trying to say? I don't feel super rhythmic with Magic Loop. I mean, I do, but not in the same way where I can just go round and round and round and round and round with something in the round. At the same time, it's way more comfortable to hold the two, 5-inch tips versus the little 9-inch needles. I don't hate the 9-inch needles. I just found myself reaching for his socks over my socks while we were traveling because I brought both of them with me. So there's that. So yeah, I want to cast on, well, I don't want to, I need to cast on a new pair of socks for travel knitting next weekend when we head back east again. So I think what I want to do next for 2 at a time, I'm going to go ahead and knit up the self-striping yarn that I dyed up earlier this summer. This was just for funsies. I am not a self-striping yarn dyer. So yeah, I'm gonna go and split this into 2 balls for traveling with. I like to always have something simple and easy that I can grab or leave in the car to work on. So that is going to be my travel knitting for our next trip, along with my next work in progress that I will get ready to show you. I don't remember if okay, no, I remember. I talked about it in Vlogmas. That's why everything's getting jumbled in my brain. So like the day after that I podcast, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna finish my stalactites and my socks and all this other stuff before the end of the year. I signed up to do a test knit. Yeah, it happens. What are you gonna do? I just had the perfect yarn for it. So I am knitting the Sorrel Sweater, and this is by Wool and Pine. I believe it's a design collab by Dank Fibers and Abby Knits. It's a top-down yoke sweater with this really pretty slip stitch pattern. And it's a pattern where you hold a fingering weight and a mohair lace weight strand together. And it's a little bit of a high neckline, which is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I actually think it's really flattering when I tried it on last night. So I'm really loving how this works up. It's also a fade, but I'm doing like the most subtle fade on mine. I wasn't really planning on fading. Actually, I had dyed up some yarn and I was just gonna do a 1-color version. But then I found a couple other skeins that I had dyed that were very close. And then I came across this little bit of white mohair that I had left. So I'm kind of playing around at the moment with fading in the mohairs. And this is in my library bag. I bought one for my mom for Christmas like 2 years ago, and they sent me 2 of them. So Merry Christmas to me as well. Okay. So currently, I'm kind of fading in and out the white mohair because I'm getting to the end of that with these 2. And these are a colorway that I called Sugar Plum Fairy. I want to make this one a shop regular. However, these are kind of one-offs that I dyed up when I dyed them. So I kind of have to see if I can recreate this to get them in the shop. So yeah, so that's what this will go into next. And then this is the colors. These are the colors that I dyed up just to be the whole thing. But then I changed my mind. So, oh, I don't have the right color. And again, these are very, very similar, but they're not exactly the same. These are going to be like most of it, like the body and most of the sleeves. I'm thinking I can get through this through part of the yoke. So you can tell they're very similar, but they're not quite the same. And these ones I am calling Bubblegum Grunge, and they will be in the shop probably in the new year. I've been on a pinky, like blush kind of kick lately, and I'm just really loving these deep plum kind of speckles on this yarn. I don't have any that aren't caked up right now, but I can maybe pop a picture on the screen of what they looked like in the hanks. So yeah, this is going well. I have until January 15th. My birthday is January 14th, so I am hoping to have a sweater for my birthday. That was kind of a big motivating factor for deciding to do this test knit. Also a chance to use some of my new colors that I've been working on. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that's coming. I haven't had any major problems or anything. Again, the pattern comes out on January 15th if y'all are interested in knitting that. And I am allowed to like share my progress. Just I can't show you the finished thing once it's done. So depending on how many podcasts I do between now and January 15th, will kind of depend on how much progress I can show you. So yeah, so I've been working on that almost exclusively, which means that I have abandoned my Stalactite. I did manage to get a fair amount of knitting done on this since the last podcast. However, I don't know, I've just kind of hit another like, it'll get done when it gets done kind of deal, especially with that other sweater having a real deadline. So yeah, on the last podcast I was up here. I am just about done with the body. I think I've done the last kind of like slip stitch pattern down here, and I'm ready to start the ribbing at any point when I decide it's long enough. So this is Stalactites by Camille Rosselle. It was in an issue of Lina magazine. Naomi, who is the yarn curator, who is my sister, I know I talk about on every podcast. She has also knit one. We both bought the same yarn in Scotland earlier this year. So the brown is from a company called Croft 29, and this is naturally colored Hebridean wool, and the contrast is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the Foothills colorway. So I really am looking forward to having this in the true like winter months. So I'm thinking once the Sorrel Sweater is done, I'll knock this one out, and then come January and February when it's actually like coldest here, I should have 2 new sweaters to wear. I took this one with me back east also, and I think I got like 3 rows done on it, because again I just kept reaching for the SOXX, which was like really shocking to me. I really thought that they were going to take me like ages to finish, and yet I was just really addicted to knitting them. But anyway, yes, that's my corner of craft stitch marker that Naomi got me, and it looks a little bit like Darcy. So let's see, I think I only have one other thing to talk about, and I haven't gotten any progress done on it, but y'all haven't seen it yet. So since it is now December, I can share with you some of the Advent colors and the Advent projects that I started. So I started the Adventuring Wrap by Ambah O'Brien. And this is through like the first 5 colors of the Advent calendar that I dyed up for my shop, which was crystals and gemstones themed. I just so happened to find this bag at SAF, which is the Southeastern Animal Fiber Fair. that we went to in October from Twist Fiber Studio. And I was like, well, it matches perfectly, or at least it matches the colors so far perfectly of what I've been working on. I do have the rest of the colors in the bag here, so I guess I'll run through them real quick. So this is Rhodochrosite, it's the first color. The next one was Sunstone, Citrine, Strawberry Quartz, and Morganite, which Morganite is like the most pretty stone. I had never heard of it before I started doing all this research for the advent calendars, but it is such a gorgeous stone. Like, it's like this light salmony pink color, and I think I need a piece of jewelry in it. Rose quartz, which is very similar, but not quite the same. It's more pink, whereas Morganite is more peach. This is Stalactite, which again was another stone that I was unfamiliar with, but it's really pretty. That was probably the most fun of doing this theme, was researching all these different stones and gemstones and crystals, and just seeing like what a variety there is out there, and learning about all these. I don't know, I'm a nerd. I like that kind of stuff. Aquamarine came next. And then Larimer, which is another really pretty stone. It has more like green in it than the aquamarine. Malachite is number 10, which a lot more of them had speckles than the one that I kept for myself. It's kind of like some black and navy speckles on that. 11 was Chrysocala, and I apologize if I am not saying these names right. I am just going off of my very limited knowledge of geology, which I really enjoyed geology when I took it in college. Yeah. Couldn't remember if it was high school or college. It was definitely college. So there are those four. Then I believe, yes, Garnet was next, and Garnet is my birthstone for January. Obsidian, which is a nice black. 14 was Sugilite. I don't know, but I impressed even myself with how close to the stone this one really truly looks, which again is another like crazy beautiful stone that I had never heard of before, and I was just like, I fell in love with it. I love a good purple. And then I guess the last one that I'll show you was yesterday's, which was Alexandrinite. Alexandrinite. Which is another kind of like, it has kind of green and purple tones to it. I'll leave today's mini. I didn't bring it in here with me. You'll have to watch Vlogmas to see what today's was. So yeah, this was a really fun experience. I really liked this theme. I liked dyeing a theme, which was a new thing for me. Usually I am more of a fly by the seat of my pants type of person and just kind of wing things. So having a plan and having kind of like a guide and some inspiration to go off of was really nice. And I enjoyed these so much that I am actually thinking I am going to bring them to the shop. Not all of them, because when I dye advent calendars, they're mostly one-of-a-kind colorways that I can't repeat. I don't write my recipes down. It's a time for me to really experiment and kind of play with colors that are outside of my comfort zone, and just kind of experience different things while I'm dyeing. I'm dyeing in front of this fire right now, but we're gonna get through. So anyway, I enjoyed those so much, and there were so many that I didn't get to, even with 25 colors in an advent calendar, that I think I want to do a monthly crystals and gemstones colorway in the shop, and it'll be like a pre-order type deal. I'm still working out the details in my mind. I'd like to do garnet for January for my birthday. I don't know. Watch the space, watch Instagram. That's probably where I will let y'all know what I'm gonna do with that. So if you couldn't afford a whole advent calendar, or if there's just one stone that you particularly love, it's gonna be a really great affordable option for some of y'all. And yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So I wanna keep it going. So acquisitions. I have treated myself a little bit pre-Christmas. Actually, I got my Christmas present from my parents while we were there for Thanksgiving, because they're going to be out of town for Christmas. So I used some of my portion. Oh, we haven't talked spinning yet, have we? I'll do this and then we can talk spinning real quick. I used my portion to buy myself a set of Chiaogoo interchangeable needles. I currently have the Chiaogoo needles. I bought those, or Jason got them for me last Christmas. And I like them. I use them. However, I don't find myself reaching for them as frequently as some of my other needles. So I went with the 4-inch tip interchangeable set, sizes 2 through 15. So yeah, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and buy this set. I should have just bought it last year. I kind of want some of the little shorty sets to complement this for doing like sleeves on sweaters, and those may be a like down the road purchase. But yeah, these needles are really the way to go. Like they're just the best ones out there in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with the Chiaogoo ones. I mean, they could be a little bit pointier and sharper on the tip. I do overall prefer wooden needles because they're less slippery. I do find that the Chiaogoo are, for being metal, they're the least slippery of metal. They have kind of a matteness to them, if that makes sense. So anyway, that is that. I will probably be destashing a whole bunch of older needles at some point because I just have tons and tons of needles. I definitely will be destashing a bunch of straight needles because I never use those. I'm strictly circular needles at this point. So I got that. So that was a little early Christmas present for myself. And then over the like Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale extravaganza weekend, I also picked up this braid from Spinning Mermaid Fibers, which I also talked about on Vlogmas. I don't remember what the name of this one was. It's really pretty though. Nursery Rhymes is the name of the colorway, and it is 100% organic merino. So it's just a lot of really pretty like pastels, kind of golden color. And what I have in the back of my mind is I want to make, there's a sweater that I want to make, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it off the top of my head. And I believe it has, it's a Kate Davies pattern. So it has some kind of Scottish name. But it's designed to use 15 different colors, 25 gram skeins of yarn, I think is what she it's in her yarn, but I was thinking it would look really pretty in hand spun in a bunch of different colors. So of course I'll put the name and a picture of it on the screen for y'all. So yes, I want to spin yarn to make this garment. And I was kind of thinking about using these roll eggs that I had gotten from Blue Barn Fibers with this. And I'm probably gonna just keep collecting up a bunch of roving in merino that is kind of in these like pastel, kind of like sunsetty colorways, beachy colors. And then as far as actually spinning them up goes, I was thinking about, I want to play with the roll eggs next. I had kind of toyed around with the idea of maybe taking like one or two and like just spinning the peach parts off of them and applying those together and having a solid peach, and then having a solid like seafoam kind of little mini skein or something, and then having one where it's all the roll eggs, and maybe playing with plying in different ways. So we'll see. I haven't completely decided, or, you know, maybe just picking and choosing bits of color off of this braid to work with this, or I haven't started yet. I don't know, but that's kind of what is formulating in the back of my mind. I need to find a couple other braids and bits of roving, maybe some roll eggs that will go with that. I am finding that a lot of fiber on Etsy has like Angelina and sparkle in it, and I just don't do sparkle. I don't know that I want to spin sparkle. I did get that one bat from Done Spun at SAF that has sparkle in it, but this is 2 ounces and that'll just be something fun. So yeah, we'll see. If you have any fiber recommendations, like sellers, dyers, please feel free to drop them in the comments down below. Some of your favorites. I don't know, it seemed a little bit like slim pickings, but then again, I feel like when I search on there, sometimes I don't always see all of my options, because then I'll be like scrolling through Instagram. I'll be like, oh, that's really pretty. And I go look at them and I'm like, why haven't I ever seen your Etsy shop on Etsy? So yeah, I would love to start dyeing roving now that I am a spinner. But that is like a whole nother ball game that I am not ready to like dive headfirst into. So anyway, I guess we'll backtrack a little bit and talk about spinning for a minute. There's not much to talk about. So yeah, I've done 2 bobbins, and this is only like 1 ounce on each bobbin, and I just need to apply them together. The other one's still sitting on the wheel over there. And this is more of the EchoView fiber. I just kind of wanted to spin something and like keep my hand at it. My shoulder is like, I can still feel the like twinge. And it's just the constant like pulling back motion. So I haven't been doing a ton of spinning, but like maybe a little bit here and there. And I did just like within the last few days decide that I wanted to really dive head first into this. But doing the like sweater spin is probably gonna have to wait until we get back. So I think January might be a heavy spinning month for me. We'll see. I don't know. It's a different craft. It's a slower craft. I know some people kind of fly through it and still can manage to spin and make things, and I don't know. I'm not there yet, and I'm okay with that. I also feel like I've just kind of blown through a lot of my fiber stash at this point. So yeah, I don't know. Just enjoying spinning for the slow process that it is. So I believe that is everything that I have to talk about with y'all as far as knitting and fibery stuff goes. I did start the second book in the Golden Compass series, or his Dark Material series. I'm not sure which one's the official name. And I started that audiobook and it just didn't grab me like the first one. I still will probably finish it. I just haven't really, I've been listening to Christmas music and some other things while I've been doing busy work around the house. So that one's okay. I do think I will go ahead and watch the series at some point, probably over Christmas. And then I also started listening to an audiobook. I wanted some kind of light listening. I believe it's called The Christmas Hirelings, and I'm pretty sure it's an older book. It's gotta be from like the Victorian era or something. But oh my gosh, what is his name? I can see his face. Richard Armitage is the narrator, and I listened to something else that he narrated, and I could just listen to his voice all day long. I know I complained about male narrators in the last episode, but it's a strange little Christmas story. It's only like 4 or 5 hours long, but I've been listening to that this week as I've been shooting around town and whatnot, or last week rather. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. I did enjoy The Crown. It took me a couple more episodes to really get into the new actors as the same old characters, and the season's a little bit slower than some of the other seasons. I mean, I realize it's a drama, but it's definitely more of a character study than like drama driven, which I appreciate. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still really enjoying that. I do want to go back and rewatch it all because I kind of like binged it in a few days. And then I watched the first episode or two of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel that came out last week or the week before. I don't know. Jason's not as into that one. He can't do all the like 1950s Jewish boys. I don't know. I kind of get it. It's a little over the top sometimes. But yeah, I think it's a funny show. It's really cute. And that's pretty much it. If you haven't been watching Vlogmas, you should go back and check those out. I have been doing little like chapter series of kind of 3 or 4 days mushed together since, I don't know, my life isn't super exciting. It hasn't been super festive up until like Saturday when we went and saw some Christmas lights, which that was a lot of fun. We went to a really good restaurant. Okay guys, I'm wrapping it up. I'm getting a little bit rambly about nonsense and I can't seem to get any words out straight. So thank you so much for joining me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate any support that y'all can give. Look out for the next Vlogmas video, and I will see you guys hopefully one more before the end of the year. Probably once we get back. That's what I'm aiming for. If not, possibly a New Year's Day episode. We'll see. So yeah, thanks for watching. Happy knitting. I will see you guys soon. Bye.